Wickfall, and as you already heard, I am proud to be a officer in Top Teams of America, and I do attend Kinder HSPBA. To begin, Barbara Jordan made herself not only seen, but heard in a time when it wasn't perceived to be a woman's place, especially a Black woman. She said, "Life is too large to hang out a sign that says, for men only." She made room for not only herself, but those who look like me. Through her words, she made her mind known as they echoed through the chambers of change. With her words, she made it known that when we speak, we command attention. As Hannah Pfeiffer wrote, Black women will always be too loud for a world that never intended on listening to us. These are the words of Audre Lorde in A Litany for Survival, and Amanda Gorman in Fury and Faith. For those of us who live at the shoreline, standing upon the constant edges of decision, crucial and alone. For those of us who cannot indulge in the passing dreams of choice, who love in doorways coming and going, in the hours between dawns, looking inward and outward. At once, before and after, seeking a now that can breathe futures like bread in our children's mouths so their dreams will not reflect the death of ours. For those of us who were imprinted with fear like a faint line in the center of our foreheads, learning to be afraid with our mother's milk, for by this weapon, this illusion of some safety to be found, the heavy-footed hoped to silence us. For all of us, this instant, and this triumph, we were never meant to survive. And when the sun rises, we are afraid it might not remain. And when the sun sets, we are afraid it might not rise in the morning. When our stomachs are full, we are afraid of indigestion. When our stomachs are empty, we are afraid we may never eat again. When we are loved, we are afraid that love will vanish. When we are alone, we are afraid that love will never return. And when we speak, we are afraid our words will not be heard nor welcomed. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So, it is better to speak remembering we were never meant to survive. You will be told, this is not a problem, not your problem. You will be told now is not the time for change to begin, told that we cannot win. But the point of protest isn't winning. It's holding fast to the promise of freedom even when fast victory is not promised. Meaning we cannot stand up to police if we cannot cease policing our imagination, convincing our communities that this won't work when the work hasn't even begun. But this can wait. When we've already waited out 1,000 suns, by now we understand that white supremacy and the despair it demands are as destructive as any disease. So when you're told that your rage is reactionary, remind yourself that rage is our right. It teaches us that it's time to fight in the face of injustice. Not only is anger natural, but necessary, because it helps carry us to our destination. Our goal is never revenge, just restoration, not dominance, just dignity, not fear, just freedom, just justice. Whether we prevail is not determined by all the challenges that are present, but by all the change that is possible. And though we are unstoppable, if we ever feel we might fail, if we be fatigued and frail, when our fire can no longer be fueled by fury, we will always be fortified by this faith, found in the anthem, the vow. Black lives matter. No matter what, Black lives are worth living, worth defending, worth every struggle. We owe it to the fallen to fight, but we owe it to ourselves to never stay kneeling when the day calls us to stand. Together, we envision a land that is liberated, not lawless. We create a future that is free, not flawless. Again and again, over and over, we will stride up from every mountainside, magnanimous and modest. We will be protected and served by a force that is honored and honest. This more than a protest. It's a promise.
Yeah.